Hi guys! Have you ever wanted to install an IP cameras in a location that was more than 328 feet from your network switch or router? Now with the help of the PoE extender, you can now easily extend the reach of your PoE network beyond the distance and install your IP camera exactly where you need it to be. So say goodbye to the limitation of traditional network setup and say hello to the flexibility and convenience of using a PoE extender. So today in this video, I'm going to use the PoE extender to connect with an IP camera. Now please like and subscribe our channel FASTCABLING. And if you have any trouble with your system design, please feel free to contact us through the link down in the description box below. You can send us some diagram or even a simple drawing, and we'll be more than happy to solve the problem for you. So there are two crucial components of an IP camera installation. First is the power and second is the data. Now, first of all, we need power to provide the cameras with the energy to function. Some IP cameras are using the separate AC adapter to power, while others are using PoE technology to power up. And then, the IP cameras will capture videos and audio data that is transmitted over a network to a recording device such as NVR or a computer. So it requires a network to stream video for the monitoring. Now we know how the IP camera works, let's move on to the demonstration board and see what else do we need. So today we are going to use the PoE technology to power up our PoE-enabled IP cameras. Now, we all know the PoE has a limitation of 328 feet, that's about 100 meters. And the limitation is because the power transmitted over the Ethernet cable decreases as the distance between the power source and the edge device increases. The decrease in power is due to the resistance in the cable, and then power loss will occur during the transmission of the electrical energy. So if the distance is too great, the device will not get enough power to operate. Now let's move on to the demonstration board and check out our whole setup. So here we are in front of the demonstration board, and behind me is the whole setup. Let's talk about the PoE extender first. It's also known as the PoE repeater. It enables the PoE power device to be located at a greater distance from the PoE source than was typically allowed by the PoE standard. Now it works by receiving the power and data through the Ethernet cable from the PoE source, and then regenerating and transmitting the signal to another Ethernet cable that is connected to the edge device. That's why it allows the device to be located at a greater distance from the power source while still receiving the power and data. And then here we have two rows of 100-meter Ethernet cable. And let's see what else. We'll have to add a PoE switch or a PoE injector, but in this case, we choose to use the PoE switch. Now, the switch is an essential element of the PoE installation, as it can provide both power and network connectivity to the PoE-enabled devices at the edge. Now, this can eliminate the need for separate power supply or electrical outlets. And most importantly, it has power handshaking. Now, what does it mean? Power handshaking is a critical process in a PoE switch that enables it to provide power to the edge devices while protecting against overload or damage to the device. They will have to talk to each other and then negotiate the power requirement of the edge device and then ensure the device can safely receiving the power. Now, without saying, let's do the connection together. So let's do the connection from the beginning. First, we will need a router to provide the main network. This is an NVR and a monitor. So you can have the image later on after we connect it with the IP camera. If we use the Ethernet cable directly plugged into the router, obviously the camera won't work because the router doesn't provide PoE. That's why we need to add the PoE switch. So now let's use the short patch cord here to connect the router with the NVR first. And then using another short patch cord to connect our main network with the PoE switch. This is a 100-meter Ethernet cable. We're going to connect it with the PoE switch here, so it can transmit both power and data through this single Ethernet cable. Now, this is the PoE extender. We have a holder here, and we have A for input port and B for output port. Make sure you plug in the input port with the PoE source. And then using the output port to connect with the edge device. So now it is connected. And you can see I took out the neck and the gland for faster installation. This is another 100-meter Ethernet cable. Now we're going to use this to connect with the IP camera. And you can see here, there's no extra power source needed, only a single Ethernet cable. And the indicated lights are getting on. The image should come up soon. Let's take a look at the monitor. Give it a few seconds. Now, the camera is on. I'm going to wave a little bit. See, this is a live camera. So the whole setup is done. Here are a few more tips for you. First is the power budget. PoE has a standard of IEEE 802.3 AF, AT, and BT standard. You have to consider your IP camera's power consumption. If you're using a high power type like the PDZ camera or a camera with heat or motion sensor, that means you might need to use the 802.3 BT standard. Next, make sure you choose a pure copper cable like the Cat5e or Cat6, because copper has a superior conductivity compared to other materials, so it can provide stable power delivery. Last but not least, our PoE extender here is compatible with the IEEE 802.3 AF, AT, and BT standard. Also, it can provide up to 60 watts of power. It has fast networking, which is about 100 megabit per second. It meets the 4K IP camera's stable video stream. The plug-and-play feature allows it for easy cabling and quick installation. So there's no complicated configuration or AC adapter needed in between. Last but not least, this is IP67 waterproof. So you can put it outside, even buried under the ground. But before that, make sure you use a wrench to fasten up the neck and the gland in order to prevent the water or dust to get in. Now, if you want to know more about how to use the PoE extender to install IP camera up to 1,500 feet, here's the video. And thank you so much for watching us today. I will see you next time.